What's up, everyone? Reckless Fox here, and welcome to another live Reckless review. This time we're reviewing Amazon Prime's exclusive television show, The Tick, which stars the guy from Shaun of the Dead, the homegirl from The Following, what's her name, Valerie Curry, Griffin Newman, and Jackie Earle Haley, the guy from Nightmare on Elm Street remake, and Rorschach from the Watcher movie back in 08 or 09, I don't remember. And it is, well, a reboot to the cartoon and the other television show, but we're not going to get all the nitty gritty. For those of y'all who are unaware, we do these reviews live on twitch.tv/recklessfox, so by all means, if you are watching right now, thank you guys for watching the review. If you are watching the recording and somewhat the edited version, thank you for watching that as well. So, The Tick. The Tick is, quite frankly, a sleeper hit when it comes to the television genre of superheroes, because we're at the point in which the superhero genre is pretty much oversaturated. You have DC with Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, and now Black Lightning, and now they're making a live-action Teen Titans show, which comes out on their new streaming service sometime soon. Then with Marvel, you have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you had Agent Carter, you have Inhumans if it does survive, and of course you have Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and now the Defenders, and now you have the Punisher coming out later this year. And then now we have Fox getting to the game with Legion, and then there's X-Men The Gifted, but I'm not going to worry about X-Men The Gifted just yet. I'll give Fox the beating it deserves at another time. We're going to be talking about this show, The Tick. Now, before we get into the review, let me give you guys a little little origin of The Tick. So The Tick was a comic book back in the late 80s, and next thing you know, it was so big, it got its own cartoon, thanks to Fox Kids, from 1994 to, I believe, 1997. It lasted 3 seasons, and it had Homer Simpson playing the voice of the Tick. Then the show, then there was a live-action show that came out around 2001, which stars Joe Swanson, or Patrick Warburton, for those of y'all who watched Rules of Engagement. And the show only lasted 9 episodes. It honestly was not that good from what critics had said. Either that, or it was just a short series. And now we fast forward to 2016. The Tick's pilot came out on Amazon Prime along with a couple of other ones, and we're asking viewers and people who have Amazon Prime, who watch their streaming service, which show would you prefer for them to make? And a lot of people asked for The Tick, and well, we got The Tick. Overall, let me just start saying this right now, this is probably, in my opinion, the best superhero show this year. I honestly was not expecting this show to be that good. It is only 6 episodes long. 6 episodes, 30 minutes each. I honestly was not expecting for this show to quite possibly be the best superhero show of this year, and I'll break it down. So the show starts off with a guy named can't remember his name, Arthur Everest. Arthur Everest is an accountant, and he's been looking into the case of the supervillain known as Mr. Terror, and you find out Mr. Terror murdered his favorite superhero team, the Flag 5, when he was just a small child. And on top of that, their ship landed on his dad while they were going out, having father-son bonding time. So he's been trying to figure out whether or not the Terror is still alive, and then he runs into the Tick. At one point, it feels as if the Tick is a figment of his imagination, and then you start to realize that the Tick is real. And while that's going on, while they're trying to find out if the Terror is still alive, his sister Dot is worried about him because he's had episodes, and he's been having episodes. For those of y'all who are psychology majors or anything like that, or know anything about psychology, episodes is like when your brain starts to tick, pun intended, to the point where you begin to have like PTSD or shell shock of like a really horrible event that has happened to you in your life. And and Arthur has that, and Dot is trying to make sure that he, is okay. Meanwhile, the superheroes of this world have been outlawed, or there's like a registration act that happened in which they're now, out, not doing superhero things except the Tick and a couple of other characters, but that's a different story. Overall, like, if I can just break it down, so when it comes to characters, I really, really like the dynamic between the Tick and Arthur Everest. And I like the fact that he doesn't want to be a part of the Tick. He doesn't want to be his friend or anything like that, because of the fact that he figures that this is a figment of his imagination, which we slowly begin to realize that it is not. I love the performance of Peter Serafinowicz, or I don't know if I'm butchering his last name, but he's the guy from Shaun of the Dead. He's the roommate. Also, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy, and he was actually the voice of Darth Maul in Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. Yeah, I really like the dynamic of the characters. I love the world that they live in which it is self-aware of superheroes and how either dumb or cool it is. I love the fact that the show is self-aware. Like, the show is completely meta and gets super meta in almost every episode. Like, when the Tick is fighting, there's another superhero in the show called Overkill. When he's fighting Overkill and he's watching Arthur and his sister argue, he's like, "Hey, you want to go fight over there?" He's like, I'm not in the mood no more. My mood is over. My fighting boner is out of here. I'm done. I don't want to do anything." I really like that, and I genuinely, overall, I love the psychology in this show. Like, it's one of the few shows that has come out recently in which they dive into the psyche of not just a superhero in the Tick, who you find out who can't remember things after 3 days. Like, after 3 days, he doesn't even remember those days. He doesn't even remember the past 3 days. I really like that. I love that Arthur has episodes in which it's like, knowing whether or not the terror is still around, it still haunts him as a grown-up, seeing his father get murdered and his favorite team of superheroes that he idolized growing up get murdered right in front of him. Like, I love that dynamic. As sick as that might sound, it makes for great superhero television. There really are not a lot of negatives. I'll find a couple while as I do this. I love the dynamic of one of the supervillains in the show. Her name's Miss Lint, who's played by Yara Martinez. She pretty much doesn't. She has one eye, and she replaces it with a that one eye that she doesn't have. She puts a glass eye in it every now and then, and she has the power of electricity. Well, the reason being is because of the fact that the electrical currents in her body attracts lint from just about anywhere, whether it's clothing, whether it's whatever. If there's any lint, it's going to get on her. And it's actually one of the funny dynamics of her character, because her name was Miss Lint when she was still a super villain for the Terror, and then he helped her change her name. I love Overkill, because Overkill, you meet Overkill later on, in which he's like the anti-hero. He's supposed to be your badass, like, I don't play by the rules type of superhero, and he's self-aware of that, which is pretty hilarious. Yeah, there really is not a lot to discuss because of the fact that I think that's the one thing. This show is only 6 episodes, and I think the reason being is because of the fact that Amazon may or may have not thought this show was going to last a single season, so that's why they had a short season. And thankfully, it's going to get a second season, so I'm really happy about that. I think that's my only gripe about the show. I find the lack of episodes to be a little like, it leaves you with it leaves you wanting more, and I think that's the problem. The show you want to see more. You want to see more of the dynamic between the Tick and Arthur. You want to see whether or not his sister's gonna get involved at a certain point. You want to know if maybe Arthur's gonna side with Overkill. I'm not trying to get into the spoiler region of the show, because honestly, there really is not a lot to spoil, because it's a Terror dead or alive. You tell me. There really is, again, there's not a lot to spoil about this show. I will say my one little gripe about the show is I kind of wish there was a little bit more of the superheroes. Like, if there was more superheroes that we don't know about, that aside from the Tick and Overkill. That's just me. because we know that some of the people who did survive the day when the Terror attacked, one was a talking dog. We know that some of them are probably registered to not be that are now exposed and do not want any part of the superhero gang. I kind of hopefully see in season 2 of The Tick that we get some of those characters that would be pretty cool. But yeah, that's all I really gotta say about The Tick. Honestly, this show is really, really good. I have no qualms with this show. If you have an Amazon account, if you have an Amazon Prime account, I highly recommend this show. This show gets a 9. If I were to rate it between 1 and 10, this show is a perfect 9. I think the lack of episodes is what stops me from giving it a 10, but it's okay. That's something that they can definitely fix next season. Again, if you guys have an Amazon Prime account, or if you have a buddy that has an Amazon Prime account, borrow it, get one. Matter of fact, do a 30-day trial on Amazon Prime and watch this show. Honestly, you will not regret it. And again, there are not a lot of shows that I reviewed on this channel where I said anything rarely that's negative. And by that I mean, like, I had to nitpick this show to find something that's negative, and the only thing I could find, honestly, is the lack of mini episodes. That's it. Go watch this. I honestly have nothing else to say about this show because it is just that awesome. It gives you get great laughs from it. You get to see great characters. You get to see character development. You get to see, the camaraderie of this cast of actors, being well known, being self-aware that they're in a superhero show, and they kind of go a little meta, and that's always great. So yes, highly recommend The Tick. Go watch it. If you have to, go watch it on Amazon Prime, get a buddy, or if you're really naughty, and I do not condone this on my channel, you could probably find it somewhere on like Pirate Bay or something like that. But that's not the point. So if you guys enjoyed the review, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the notification button because YouTube's algorithm is butt effing stupid. And yeah, and also if you guys are new, especially if you are live watching me right now, shouts to you guys who are watching me. Be sure to follow me on twitch.tv/RecklessFox, where I do my live reviews of movies, television, and hopefully at one point video games, as well as I do my Let's Plays and do commentary on certain things that are going on. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter at TheRecklessFox, where I can give you guys up the dates of whenever I'm streaming or whenever I'm doing my videos. And be sure to follow me on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/RecklessFox, because big announcement, I will be starting a podcast very, very soon. I can't give you too much details, but I will be starting a podcast soon. So the link to my SoundCloud the link to my SoundCloud will be in the description box below. Oh, forgot to mention, please be sure to follow my boys at Rangers Live Chat, where we discuss new episodes of the new Power Rangers show, or we talk things about what's going on in the world of Power Rangers. New episodes are every week, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So, until then, as always, guys, this is Reckless Fox. Peace out, bless up, and keep everything $20 or less. Deuces!